My wife, Claire, died of a brain aneurysm on a Tuesday. By Friday, I'd stopped crying. By Sunday, I was talking to her ashes. The urn sat on the mantelpiece, a simple ceramic vase she'd thrown in a pottery class. I'd mock her for that vase. It leans, I'd say. She'd laugh. Now it held 4.2 pounds of calcium phosphate and mineral fragments that used to be the only person who knew my middle name. The first whisper came at 3:17 a.m. I was half asleep on the couch, some infomercial playing. Then I heard it, a sound like a dry leaf dragging across concrete. I sat up. The living room was empty. The urn sat still. The next night, I heard it again. Mark. My name. Her voice. But wrong. Like a recording played backward, then forward again. I told my therapist it was grief. She agreed. I paid $200 for that reassurance. On the 10th night, I woke to find the urn's lid on the floor. Inside, the ashes were no longer loose gray powder. They were wet, sticky, coagulated into a dark, clay-like lump that steamed faintly in the cold room. I should have scattered her, thrown her into the ocean, the wind, anywhere. But I was weak. I missed the smell of her shampoo. I missed her foot touching mine under the blanket. So I took the lump. I held it. It was warm, and it was breathing. A slow, shallow respiration, like a hibernating animal. The lump grew tendrils, fingernails first, pale, soft, emerging from the gray muck. Then knuckles, a wrist, a forearm, slick with a viscous fluid that smelled of rose water and decay. I watched, paralyzed, as over 3 hours, Claire rebuilt herself on our rug. First as a sculpture of ash and blood, then as skin, damp, translucent, then solidifying. She gasped when her lungs formed. Her eyes opened last. She was Claire. Every freckle, the small scar on her chin from a bike fall. But her eyes were wrong. They weren't brown. They were the milky, depthless white of a grub. I was in the dark, she whispered. Her voice was perfect. I could hear you crying. I pushed through. I held her. I'm not proud. She smelled like wet plaster and copper. She was cold. But I held her. For 3 days, she was almost normal. She made coffee, weak the way I liked it. She laughed at a sitcom, but she never ate. She never blinked enough. And at night, she didn't sleep. She lay next to me, rigid, eyes open, staring at the ceiling. When I woke at 3 a.m., she was always whispering something into my ear. A language with too many consonants, a rhythm like roots growing through soil. On the 4th day, she said, I brought something back with me. She opened her mouth. It was not a mouth anymore. It was a hole. Beyond the hole, in the dark of her throat, I saw movement. A pale, segmented leg. Then another. Something the size of a cat, but wrong in every proportion, began to crawl out. It had no head, just a ring of wet mouths. It needs a host, Claire said. her voice now coming from that thing. "You said you'd do anything to keep me." I ran. I locked myself in the bathroom. Through the door, I heard her, scratching. Not on wood, on the inside of my skull. Now I'm writing this by the light of my phone. The clawing has stopped, but the whispering hasn't. And the thing outside, the thing wearing her face, just said very softly, "You promised, Mark, till death do us part." But death didn't part us. It just made us one. I feel something moving in my lower intestine. It's warm. It's breathing. Claire didn't come back wrong. She never left. The thing that whispered from the ashes was a parasitic entity that mimics the dead by consuming the grief of the living. The real Claire has been trapped inside the lump the whole time, aware, watching her husband embrace a monster that is now laying eggs in his own organs.
Please like and subscribe, and we'll be back for more soon.